I recently heard a Roman Catholic apologist make the claim that Jesus almost certainly spoke Latin. So I asked Grok, did Jesus speak Latin? He likely spoke Aramaic as his native tongue, which was the common language of Judea. He may have also known some Hebrew used in religious contexts and possibly some Greek, which was widely spoken in the region. Latin was primarily the language of Roman administration and military, not commonly used by the Jewish population in Judea. Jesus might have encountered Latin in official context, but there's no historical evidence suggesting he spoke it fluently or regularly. But, I said, it's thought that he was a carpenter. Couldn't he have spoken it as a tradesman? It's unlikely Jesus would have used Latin in his trade. In Judea, carpenters primarily served local communities where Aramaic was the dominant language. Clients, suppliers, and fellow workers would have communicated in Aramaic with some Hebrew for religious or cultural purposes. Latin was mainly used by Roman officials, soldiers, and administrators in Judea, not in everyday commerce or local craftsmanship. ChatGPT. Jesus likely did not speak Latin as a regular means of communication. Jesus' primary language was Aramaic. Aramaic was the everyday language of the people in that area, especially among working class people like Jesus and his disciples. Jesus may have spoken Hebrew and Greek. Latin's role in Judea. Latin was the administrative language of the Roman Empire, spoken primarily by officials and soldiers. It was not commonly spoken by the general population in Judea or Galilee. Most Roman officials in the region also spoke Greek, which was more practical for governing the eastern parts of the empire. Jesus was from Nazareth in Galilee, a small rural Jewish village. His clients would have primarily been local Jewish villagers who spoke Aramaic. There wouldn't have been much need for Latin in that local economy. Roman presence was limited in Galilean daily life. Roman soldiers and officials were mostly stationed in urban centers, not rural villages like Nazareth. While Roman governance reached Galilee, it did so through local rulers like Herod Antipas, who likely spoke Greek, not Latin, with the Romans. Some scholars suggest Jesus might have worked in Sepphoris. It's plausible, and so he might have encountered Greek-speaking patrons or laborers. Even there, Greek would have been far more useful than Latin. Latin would have only been used at the highest administrative or military levels. There's no record of Jesus speaking Latin. When he's before Pontius Pilate, their conversation is not recorded in Latin, and Pilate likely spoke Greek, which would have been their common language. If your faith tells you that surely Jesus must have spoken Latin, there's nothing that I can say. It's what you believe, and all the evidence in the world won't convince you otherwise. However, if you're an apologist, someone who claims to depend upon and use evidence and reason, all of the evidence and most of the reason concludes that Jesus did not speak Latin.